Welcome back, everybody. We're here at the Hive, and we have a special guest here next to me. He's a very special guest, and thank you for joining us. We were a little late today, so we apologize, but we're going to rock and roll today, so don't worry about it. And we have a really good show planned for today. We have an international speedway legend. He has many championships under his belt. And let me introduce to you the one and only Dennis Sigalos. Siggy, how are you, bud?
Hey, how's it going, Brian? All good over here, man. Been a little trying, but you know we're on the show now. That's what matters.
Hey, you know what matters is that you're rocking and rolling, and we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, all was good. Watching a little NASCAR because that's back rolling again, and getting ready to do some honeydews around the house. But let's get the show rolling.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Dennis, for visiting us. And we're sorry for you for the delays out there, but we're going to make this happen, and we're going to have a great show. So how was your holidays, Dennis? We met before Christmas, and how was your Christmas and New Year's? Was it all right?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously it's a lot different this year than previous years, but it was kind of nice not having to get out and travel around all over the town to see people and what have you. It was, more time spent at home with the family. Kind of a different Christmas this year, but it still was good to be with immediate family.
Exactly. Oh, that's really cool. Well, you got to save on some gas money anyways.
For sure. And price.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I wish I would live near you. You could come visit me, but I don't live that close.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be surprised to see me on your doorstep, brother.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to have you as a neighbor. Seriously, that would be just awesome. I mean, who wouldn't like to have Dennis Sigalos as their neighbor? I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Much my neighbors like me.
Your neighbors like you or don't like you?
Well, they do. They know there's always something going on around here, some kind of banging and clanging and 4th of July fireworks and always some activity going around here at the Sigalos household. Oh,
I agree. Well, I'm sure that when you're a young rider, people didn't like living next to you with those speedway bikes.
Well, yeah, we had the up in Fullerton there, we had the cops around quite a bit. It wasn't from the speedway bikes, but it was from our dirt bikes anyways as kids.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I had my first speedway bike about the time you were just about D1, and I used to ride up and down the street because that was my love, is that speedway bike, and it had this straight pipe and it was really loud, and my neighbors were so mad at me. They said, "Brian, if you ride that speedway bike one more time on this street, we're calling the cops." And I said, "Okay, go ahead and call the cops." And then I would ride the bike like a different day, of course. And then I would race up and down the street, and then quickly I'd put my speedway bike in the garage, and the police would drive up and down, and there'd be nobody on the street.
Yeah, but they knew who it was for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking at my house, looking in the window, the police, and they're like, "We're going to get you, dude." But they never got me because I was fast.
Good.
Yeah, who wants a ticket anyway? So forget that. And, well, we know that you had an illustrious career as a speedway rider, and you started off just as a normal guy, and then you just progressed into an international and just a European rider, and you made your fame kind of like Scott Autry. You made your fame overseas, and they knew who you were, of course, but you really excelled, and you made all your history over at the pond there. And you just had a great career, and we want to go ahead and show a little bit about your life, about your racing career right here. Like several great United States speedway riders, Dennis made his fame in Europe, racing in England in the British League. He raced for 3 different teams. In 1979 to 1980, he raced on the Hull Vikings. '81 to '83 and a little bit in '85, he raced for the Ipswich Witches. In 1984, he raced for the famous Wolverhampton Wolves. Other accomplishments of Dennis, he had many. Dennis was a great rider. In 1980, Dennis placed 3rd place in the 21 and under World Championship. In 1980, he placed 2nd place in the World Team Cup. In 1980, he was a Peter Craven's Memorial Cup champion. In 1981, he was the British League KO Cup champion. In 1982, Dennis was 3rd place in the World Championship behind Bruce Penhall, which he won that one in '82. Dennis was on the podium in a World Championship. In 1983, Dennis placed 3rd place in the World Team Cup. He raced for Team America. Also in the same year, he was 4th place in the World's Pairs Championship with Bobby Schwartz. In 1983, Dennis won the American final in Long Beach, California. The following year, in 1984, Dennis had a terrible crash. Dennis broke his leg terribly, and that in essence ended his speedway career. Then the following year, in 1985, Dennis tried making a comeback for the Ipswich Witches. That's it, Dennis Arthur Sigalos. We call him Siggy. He was just a famous rider. He won an American final championship. He won a world championship in boats with Bruce Penhall. He was just an amazing talent and rider. Dennis Sigalos, an American superstar. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Ring that bell, Dennis. Just ring that bell.
Ding, ding.
Now, did I get those pretty close? Was I okay in that, or did I get thumbs down?
You did all right, although one of your big mistakes was Boogaloo and I won the world best pairs, and I think he said we got fourth, but nevertheless, we won the pairs in 82 in Australia. But yeah, no,
you know what? You're right. I did do that. This was actually one of my first blogs I ever did. It's an old replay when I picked you, and I think you and Bruce were like some of the first blogs that I did, and and actually I made a mistake. And in the next video we're gonna play, I corrected that mistake. So that was totally right. I screwed up. Yeah, you actually. In fact, we're gonna play that video. Do you want to see that video of you and Boogaloo racing? Let's see. Where is that? We're right here. This is the 82 Best Pairs Championship. I guess Dennis and Bobby did pretty good. You guys like maxed the score, right? You got a maximum?
Yeah, we did okay. We did okay that night, and a lot of fun being in Aussie. I had some good friends over there as well, and staying with the Bucocks. That was it was really a bitchin' deal to be able to win there, and it's a nice track, and we had a great time. It was super.
Well, when you win the world's best pairs championship anytime, I think you'll have a good day.
You're probably right there. I would agree, and I'll never forget it.
And I'm sure you like the track if you did that.
Really, we've ridden there a few times over the years, but yeah, that night it was good. Good inside, good outside. Always has some dirt on it, and obviously no walls, so nothing to think about as far as hitting the fence unless you really get out of shape and hit the outside fence for the stock cars and the midget track, But it was kind of different, but love the track.
Well, Bobby rides the pole almost all the time, and you ride the outside and the pole too. So I guess you guys are pretty safe, and you guys were pretty good riders in your day. You guys were like average or a little above average.
I'll take it. Yeah, wasn't the best, but sure had a good time, and had some success anyways.
Yeah, you had a little bit, from your D3 days, you got a little better.
Yeah, totally different than D3 riding around they call it the teacup, right?
Yeah.
That's where it all.
You improve.
Most of us.
You cracked me up. Well, we're going to watch that race. Dennis is an amazing rider, and this guy's badass. And we're going to watch that right now.
The last heat, and really it's just a question of can the Americans go through the card unbeaten. Schwartz and Sigalos have never looked under any threat at all. They're in against the Finns. Kainimi is the danger here because he has been a very pugnacious performer. Heat 21, the last one. The Americans surely will anchor it here, and up to the corner. It is Schwartz and Niemi trying to split them up, and Niemi boldly challenging them round the outside, and the Americans struck him off there as they hit the pit corner. It is Schwartz in front and Sigalos in second place, and Boogaloo Bobby gave Kai Niemi the Boogaloo shuffle there when he challenged on lap one, and we can but stand back and applaud the Americans who look certain now to defend their World Pairs crown undefeated, and that's a marvellous, marvellous record. They won the World Individual Crown through Bruce Pennell in their own backyard in Los Angeles. They took the World Team Cup in White City, London, and now they've gone down under to Australia to retain their World Pairs Crown in the most masterful style. And who can deny that they are the rightful masters of World Speedway? The Americans, Sigalos and Schwartz, regained their title, and they have done it in such a way that nobody can doubt that the Americans at this moment absolutely are the world's best.
Yes, a maximum for America, retaining their trophy with a total of 30 points. In second place, England with 22. Third, Denmark with 21. Sharing fourth place, Finland and Australia with 16 points each. And sixth place, New Zealand 13. And in seventh...
Well, that was pretty good, Dennis. You were leading the world at that time.
How about that? That was a good night. And, you know, I'll tell you what, riding with Bobby and Bruce will definitely agree with this. You know, what a teammate, what a team rider. You know, that guy can ride inside, he can ride outside. Yeah, he likes the inside. He prefers the inside. But, you know, Bob does whatever it takes, and it was a pleasure riding with him, and you know, had all the confidence in the world that night, especially. Love riding with Boogaloo. Always felt safe and confident, and we were hooked up that night for sure.
Yeah, you guys were rocking. I noticed, I think it was like in the first lap or so, Bobby was turning his head, looking at you, like Bobby knew exactly where you were at, and it was total team riding, you and Bobby, because you were a little behind there at the beginning, and then Bobby knew you were like right to his right, and he's like, okay, we got this one.
Yeah. Well, we had a plan of attack, if you will, you know, going into it, and you know, I don't know, hard to see, but you know, missed the start a little bit maybe, and you know, Kai's a hell of a rider. And he got out there on the outside, but Bobby made kind of short work of it, and you know, moved him out a little bit. Is able to open the door for me on the inside, and then we changed positions. You know, back to me being on the outside and getting hooked up, and Boogaloo on the inside where he loves to ride. And you know, it was an awesome night. We were hooked up.
You guys were, yeah. You know. Bobby's just amazing, like pole rider. I mean, he can ride the outside. He's all right, and he's good at, you know, probably anywhere. But in the inside, Bobby's the master on the inside. And you can actually, I think I've seen your rides, and you can ride the same. You can ride the pole, and you can ride the outside equally well. I think Bobby's a little bit better on the pole because he's a great pole rider. And you're an excellent, you know, you were an excellent, well, both really, I mean, really both, but you were really a good outside rider too.
Yeah, for some reason I like the dirt a little bit.
Yeah,
I ate a lot of dirt being out there, but nonetheless, that was my preferred line is, you know, for sure you have to go on the inside. It just depends on the racetrack on the day. Yeah. You got to be well-rounded and be able to move the bike anywhere you want to make headway, and you know, try to get around if you're behind. Try to get around someone or under someone. You know, help them make a little mistake to where you're able to you know, either get around them or get under them. You know, just always apply pressure if you're behind.
Exactly. Well, you were equally as good on the pole and riding kind of in the not the pole. I don't know if you're a pole rider, like super hugging the pole. I think you were a little bit, but I think just a little bit off the pole, you did really well, like close to the pole. And Bobby hugs the pole a little bit, but you rode just a little bit away from the pole, and you had that perfect little groove. You got a little bit of dirt just off the pole, and I think you used that to your advantage a lot.
Well, I'd like to think so. You know, I could put the bike where I wanted to put it, for the most part, you know, unless I got out of shape or something. And then it was wherever you end up, and you got to make the best of it.
Yeah, we're going to watch a video about that, but we're not going to talk about, we're going to be quiet because we're going to say that Dennis always was a perfect rider.
Never that, man. Just always did my best.
Well, nobody's perfect, but you did a good job. You did a great job. And also, like yesterday, I was just watching the videos of you because I was like really impressed. I'm like, this guy's good. And in 1982, you were the British Open champion at the White City. You rode a spectacular night that night. You dropped only 1 point. That's not too shabby. I mean, if you drop 1 point, you're definitely in the hunt for that championship for sure. And actually, you had a tie with Hans Nelson of Denmark. And I think it was one of the largest purses in history. It's like 5,000 pounds winner take off. Do you remember that race?
Oh, absolutely. It was one of the most memorable races, really. And, Hans and I both had a good night, and we were both very competitive. And, I was a little bummed that, I got beat, because then I knew I had to go have a runoff with Hans, and, really, really good off the start. He's like a freaking machine, man.
He's good.
Yeah, he is good. And, but you got to keep putting the pressure on him. And, he made a little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a mistake where he locked up and lost a little momentum. And I was able to, make the pass around the outside, just keep my momentum going. And, then kind of close the door a little bit, if you will. And, rode the rest of the lap or two out of it, just kind of wondering if he's going to come underneath me. Is it really going to be his game on? Well, game was always on, but
it's always on.
Always, Hans is a pretty clean rider, and felt safe pretty much anywhere you go. And I would like to think that he felt the same about me. I wasn't a guy that liked to take people out or take them to the fence. I just like to, race hard.
Yeah, no, you're definitely a hard racer. I think during that race when you won the British Open, I think the announcer was pulling for Hans maybe or something, because at the beginning I think he was saying kind of like you have your work cut out for you, and kind of like it's going to be almost impossible for you to win, because Hans really had a good start. He had a good beginning of that race, and you were kind of a little bit lagging behind, and it kind of looked it looked like you weren't going to win that race at the beginning, but then you just start picking it up. You had that Bruce Penhall, I'm going to win mentality, no quitting, like he did to Ole Olsen in 81 World Championship. He just he didn't stop. I mean, Bruce Penhall just said, you know what, my head is down. I am going for it. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm going to win this race. And that's exactly what you did. You did exactly what your buddy Bruce did. Do you think so?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, that's, any racer, you don't want to give up. Sometimes you really may not have a chance, but, you want to do your best. And certainly that's what I did. And that's the way the mind works, is you always want to go out there, trying to win the heat or win the event, or, get the most points scored in the day. But you want to keep your equipment together. But you got to do everything you possibly can to, if you're behind, you need to work them hard. You need to figure out where they could bobble, where you could make a little more time on them. And, the same if you're leading the race, is you need to figure out where they might want to try to pass you and cover your ass, so to speak, so they can't come around you or they can't come under you. But sometimes you're not quick enough, or sometimes maybe you got to you bobbled, or you got to you're shy on a tooth on the rear sprocket or something like that, and you just don't have the top end or what have you. But I definitely worked them hard that day, and it paid off in the end.
Well, so was that like a winner take all? That's what I thought the guy said. So nobody made money, only the winner? Is that how that worked?
Well, the grand prize, if you will, went to the top rider of the day. There was points, money paid on points throughout the event for all riders. But as far as the top prize, yeah, there was, pretty much winner took all. And,
Wow.
you know, that day. So we went to the Hard Rock Cafe, and then we hit McDonald's, and then headed home.
Well, I wish I was with you that night because I know I would have had a free dinner.
I think the McDonald's.
Hey, I like the Big Mac, the Coke or the orange, and then some fries, and then a couple kilos. I like that one.
We used to so look forward to going through London or any track that was near London to stop by on the way there, and probably not on the way home because we were hauling ass to get home. We most of the time had a long drive to get home, but always on the way down we stop at McDonald's, and maybe sometimes we stop at the Hard Rock on the way home after a victory, or you know, even to lick our wounds and have a Budweiser or a Michelob there and a burger. So it was always good times to, you know, head to London, to Hard Rock or McDonald's or wherever, you know, good stuff.
Exactly. I have my British license. It's good today. And I was driving around London back around the time, a little bit before you were racing, just a little bit when Penhall and Bobby was racing a little bit together. And I used to go to the Hard Rock Cafe too in London, and it was nice. And they had good burgers at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, we spent some time there and got to know some people, and the guy at the front door that would let you in, and we had a little, I guess, plus treatment, if you will. When we'd show up, he would try to get us in as quick as possible, get us a good seat, and even sat right next to Johnny Carson one night. It was pretty cool.
Wow. Is he still alive, Johnny Carson? Or I think he died, right?
I think he did. Yeah, I got a really cool picture on my wall of shame here with myself and Sean Moran, Kelly Moran, and Kenny Best.
Yeah.
And I still got it hanging on the wall. I think we won a knockout cup, or we won something at White City. So we went there afterwards, and he was there, and he heard that we were Americans and that we had just won a big event there. And so
wow.
He sent us over a bottle of champagne, and so we cracked her open, and we all had to have a picture with him, of course, you know, to say, hey, were you there with Johnny?
Oh,
Ashley Joyce DeWitt was there as well. She was one of the stars on Three's Company.
Who was it? Who was that?
Joyce DeWitt was her name.
Oh, that was the dark hair girl, right? Yeah.
Yes. So she, well, so hey, we got to hobnob with the big stars.
Very cool. Oh, very good. And we got some questions from some people, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to play that video from the British Open where you won 5,000 pounds and you didn't take me to the Hard Rock Cafe or McDonald's.
And we could hardly have asked for a better climax to this first ever British Open. £5,000 the prize, and only sympathy for second places. Sigalos on the inside, Nielsen on the outside. It's going to be so important this start because it has proved to be terribly difficult to get from the back. So this is the moment. Away they go, and it is Nielsen, I think, who's just got the drop. Nielsen gets to the corner in front. Sigalos is second, and Nielsen, who has looked really very speedy when he's hit the front all afternoon, now just must kick on for home. But here comes Sigalos, and he isn't going to give in without a battle. And Nielsen has swung out to where the dirt is on the outside, where he can out-circumnavigate Sigalos. At least I imagine that's his theory. Sigalos will swing around, duck and dive, and try and tease him inside or outside. It's a fair old race. Here comes Sigalos again around the outside. And will he try and swing back? And he's moved around the outside, and they're absolutely neck and neck. And Sigalos has gone by in a masterpiece of manoeuvrability and manipulation. And it's into the last lap, and Sigalos is in front and kicking on for his life, and now Nielsen must try and find that bit of extra. What a super climax, and what a fine ride by Dennis Sigalos. Whoever said it's all about getting out the gate first? He has disproved that. He goes over the line on his back wheel, £5,000 the richer. The Stars and Stripes forever is sounding around White City. The American domination of the big events continues. Dennis Sigalos has done it the hard way, but he's £5,000 richer after a Speedway match race, which really will go into the books as something of a classic. Well, let's look at the moment when £5,000 was won and lost. You can see Nielsen here is in front, and Sigalos has to make his move, and he swings around the outside line. This is the pit corner, and as they level away down the straight, it looked like he really had to produce something bionic to get by, and that's exactly what he did. And Nielsen just slightly overcooked that corner there, and that allowed Sigalos onto the drive on the outside, and once he got his...
Whoa, very good.
And just like you just get wound up around the outside.
Man, I think that was a good race for 5,000 pounds.
It was a pretty exciting race. Probably, one of my most memorable days of racing. It was a good time, and you always like to win. It's always much better to win after a hard day's racing. But it was a hard race. It was a good race, clean, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah, I bet you were rooting for Hans to lose his last race, so you would just walk in and win. But it didn't happen that way.
No, it certainly didn't. But I guess in hindsight, it was good for the fans. They got to watch an extra race, and got to watch a pretty good battle.
Oh, that was a great battle. I mean, that was just a battle of the ages, really. And it was great. Speedway is truly a sport of ups and downs. I'm sure you'd agree.
Absolutely.
It's really, you're high one day, you win the British Open, and the next day, maybe something happens that you don't really want. That's Speedway, right, Dennis?
Well, that's right. You race a lot of races in a season over there, in England and across on the continent, Poland or Sweden or Czechia or Denmark or Germany. So, you're putting in a lot of laps in a season, and you're always trying, that's for sure. But you don't always, or myself anyways, didn't always have top-notch success. But it wasn't from lack of trying, that's for sure.
Exactly. And you actually, I guess at the White City in London, you hit a rut on the pole. I guess you're riding the pole, which you're a pretty good pole rider, but anytime you hit a rut going at that speed and stuff, you don't know what can happen. And you went wide on that turn. And your buddy, Hans Nelson, you actually, I guess, went in his way. And then I think Hans, like normal riders, they don't slow down for anything. And then I think he kind of got crossed up a little bit because you went off your line with that rut at the White City. And tell us about what you think happened during that race.
Well, I do know what happened, and after I guess 30 years of thinking about it, I understand the thought process from a competitor, if you will. I had the lead, and we all knew that rut was there in that corner. I think it was just mid turn between 1 and 2, and you had my butt up on the seat a little bit, always kind of prepared and ready for anything that might happen. And sure enough, I kind of crossed up a little bit, got hooked up in that rut, and it just sent the front wheel up in the air. And at that point, throttle off, landing gear out, just trying not to go over backwards or to fall down. And luckily enough, the bike came down on all two wheels, but I did drift out a little bit. And I was in. I don't think I ever touched Hans, but got close enough to him, and he got out in the marbles and laid it down. And he played the game. He laid there, and crossed his leg and just kind of waited for me to get excluded because, you know, I had the wheelie, so that's what everyone looks at, and you know, kind of got out of shape a little bit. But you know, still to this day, I don't believe I touched him. And but it is what it is. You know, he went down and you know, got me excluded. And at the time, I didn't think it was fair. Well, maybe it wasn't. I certainly had to be calmed down in the pits by my wife and my buddy and crew chief Kevin. You know, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. And you know, you're still gonna qualify through the next round, even if you get excluded. But you know, I never want to give up. So, you know, I did some antics and what have you. I showed my my unappreciation for the referee when I went down on the track. And yeah, I guess it wasted some time and what have you. But you know, racers are passionate about what they do, and I was very passionate. And you know, I just wanted the opportunity to get back in the heat and let's do it again.
For sure.
For hands, it was a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That I got excluded, and you know, eliminate the competition. And you know, it certainly happened to me, but it felt so good to do it, and it was so worth doing what I did do. You know, with the referee and I want to get out there. And, you know?
Now, did you give him a peace sign where you're like, peace, brother? Or did you give him other signs like, hang loose, brother, hang loose? It was like not a good sign, right? It was like up yours, up yours.
And the American up yours.
I think they have a different meaning in England for that one, right? Is that correct?
Regardless, it's still up yours, and that's the way I felt in the heat of the moment, anyways. But yeah, you know what? I did the wheelie, and you know, I got eliminated, but I got a hell of a picture out of it, and the memory. So I didn't fall down and didn't hurt the bike, didn't break any of my fenders, anything like that. Just kind of got me down in the dumps a little bit over it, but you know. That's racing. You win some, you lose some. Hopefully, you win more than what you're losing at that point.
Well, that's cool. You mentioned your memory, because that's really the things, even though it was a little bit of a bad experience maybe for you at the time, you were pretty pissed off and you were like steaming. But that memory, you know, is kind of cool, because that memory, like for the good or for the bad, whatever that means, it stays with you for like you say, your whole life. And that's really, you know, cool, because like when I was watching like some of the basketball, like Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks, he said, you know, people come to basketball for the memory. They come here for the memory of like the experience and stuff, not for always the basketball game. And sometimes in life, you know, like when we race motorcycles, we really enjoy later, or we have experience of all the good and bad for a memory. And this is a memory that will probably never fade in your mind. So that's cool.
Yeah, one of many, or one of thousands, I should say, of memories.
But that's cool. You know, you can do that. You know, I was reading about Mike Bass. You know, he's won 4,000 speedway races in America, and he has a room full of trophies. And every day, from what I read, Mike Bass walks by and he looks at all those hundreds and thousands of trophies, and the memory of like just, you know, of being Mike Bass.
Yeah, for sure. He was someone that we all looked up to as kids and adolescents. And adults for that matter. I mean, Mike was, I think they called him the machine. He was the guy around Costa Mesa, especially. You know, there's Sonny Nutter. There was Rick Woods, Steve, his brother. You know, there was so many good riders, Becker, Cody, and all that we looked up to. And I was just kind of glad that I was part of it all.
Yeah, that's neat.
first going to a speedway race, probably when I was, 10 or 12 years old, and to be racing against them and being kind of friends with them, going through life. And now after, I guess 35, close to 40 years of after the fact, those memories are really, really cherished. Love all of them. Most of them more good memories than sour memories, if you will. But we all had some bad nights and some bad races. Yeah, and you remember them. I guess you remember the good and the bad with life in general. But that I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it at all. I really enjoyed myself and still enjoy myself to date. It's all good. Life's good.
Yeah, every day is precious, and it's really, really precious. And we're gonna go back to that race in a second. But this guy here, do you remember who this guy was in the hospital bed?
Oh, Kelly, our Kelly. Yeah, I mean, you could never forget that man. What a talent! What a friend! What a figure! There'll never be anyone else like Kelly. Just kind of was texting with Sabine, his girlfriend. She was in Germany and what have you, so I still stay in touch with them, which is awesome. But growing up with the Morans and racing some junior speedway with them or against them, it was a sad day and a sad time. Kelly lived the life on the edge to the fullest, day by day. And he had a huge following, not only with fans, but with his racing buddies and hell, people around the world. I mean, they remember Kelly, but I mean, what a talent, what an absolute talent, and a man that would give the shirt off his back. And I've seen him do it before, back in the day. Lovable, likable, just a great individual. And, it was an honor to be part of his career and lifespan, but a man that will never be forgotten.
No, when Kelly was on, that guy could ride a speedway bike.
Oh, I've seen him do some amazing things. We were in Holland at one race, and the track was real rough, and I see Kelly coming down the back straight, and it was pretty rough down the straightaway, and he hit this bump, and his body for some way got pitched off on the left side of the bike, and he hung onto the handlebars. He was dragging like on the side of the bike. I mean, toes out and dragging behind the bike or next to the bike. And he hit another bump, and it just pitched him back on the bike. And he kept on going, never missed a beat. Probably still stayed in the lead. And when he got done, we're like, "What the hell was that, Jelly? Oh my God, anything like it before." But the guy never gave up, and even till the end, he never gave up, and that was Kelly. And love him and honor him and miss him, but what a legend.
Wow, Kelly Moran, I bet he had like a stain in his pants after that one.
Shit, I did.
You had just watching him.
No kidding. Yeah, what a man.
Yeah, no, he was great. Kelly was really cool. Like, I was reading a lot about him and things like everybody. And, he would give like trophies to little boys he didn't know. He just was a genuine, just had a heart of gold. And he would just see somebody he didn't even know and would really love them and give them his trophy if he won a trophy that night. I mean, what kind of guy is that? That's good.
Yeah, that's a true humanitarian. That is just a true lover. I mean,
yeah.
There's no one that'll ever replace him as far as that goes. He was a wonderful, wonderful giving man for sure, and we all loved him for it.
No, it's true. One time I was racing at Costa Mesa, and I don't know why, but Kelly wasn't like coming in the main area. He was in the back where the cars are, you know, in the little fence. And he was looking through the fence. This was like 2 years before he had passed away. And, you know, he was sick and he wasn't looking real good. And I knew it was Kelly because, you know, who could not notice Kelly Moran?
Right, right.
And so Kelly was looking at me, and he's such a good guy. You know what? I'll remember this forever. You know, Kelly's been through how many thousands of races, you know, and you know he's seen you ride and Penn Hall and stuff. And then Kelly was looking through the fence at me. I was pitted kind of close to Kelly, but for some reason the promoters or something didn't allow him in the stands, which is a shame because like Kelly Moran should be like royalty. He won those back-to-back United States Speedway Championships, and Kelly Moran should be like, you know, if he's there at the races, they should roll a red carpet out and like let him come in, you know, because he was just fantastic. You know, Kelly's special guy.
Yeah, Kelly would never expect that. He always wanted to be, you know, known for kind of a gentle giant, if you will. You know, loved everyone. Everyone loved him, and I'm sure he got in anyways, even if he had to climb the fence.
I think I helped him climb the fence with my hands. I'm like, okay, get over, you know.
Yeah, there you go. I think we've all done it twice before in our lifespan.
But I was talking to Kelly, and you know, Kelly looked really sad, you know, and stuff. And I said to Kelly, I said, hey, I said, you know, nice to see you, Kelly. And I was being nice to him and stuff. And then he said, Brian, come here. I want to talk to you. And so I said, oh, okay. So I walked over to Kelly, and he kind of whispered in my ear through the fence. And he said, I want to tell you something, Brian. And I said, what's that, Kelly? And he said, you're my favorite rider of all time, or of the track here at the Costa Mesa. He says, you're my favorite rider. And I said, me? I'm your favorite rider? Because I know I wasn't that good, you know, but Kelly was that type of guy. He would make people feel good, even though maybe it's not true. But Kelly looked at me in the eye and said, you know, you're my favorite rider. I was doing the bumblebee thing and I had the uniform, but Kelly made me feel good. I know it's probably not true, maybe because Kelly has seen everybody, and I wasn't the best rider, but he didn't say the best. He said favorite, and so that made me feel good that he reached out to me, and he really touched me when he said that because I wasn't expecting Kelly Moran to say that to me. I mean, that was blowing me away.
Right. Well, he appreciated a lot of different people, you know, in their own way, and that's what made Kelly such a personable and memorable individual on and off the track. He was just loved by all. I mean, I don't think he had anyone out there that didn't like him or didn't appreciate what he brought to the sport and into life. You know, he's one of a kind.
I mean, there's no human being like Kelly Moran. I mean, he's just, like you say, one of a kind. I mean, he was just crazy good and just a nice guy. And like I say, he made me feel really good. So that was nice. And
perfect. He made a lot of people feel good.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. And I knew I wasn't probably his favorite rider, but he just made me feel good, you know, like to say that, like coming from Kelly Moran. I mean, like, wow.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Good guy, Kelly Moran. So let's get back to Speedway. And we're going to get back to the White City Stadium in London with Dennis Sigalos' very famous ride against Hans Nelson and that crash, which I think Hans actually kind of, like you say, went to the marbles a little bit. Maybe I think he pitched it a little bit trying to avoid hitting you, and he fell down. And I don't believe from watching the video several times that you guys touched. And you didn't feel a touch, right? You didn't feel anything?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I thought we were all good. And you know, maybe he should have been excluded. He's the one that caused the stoppage. I didn't stop.
Exactly.
I didn't fall down. Nonetheless, that's the way it turned out.
Well, that's the way I felt. I was thinking, like, I really saw it that way. I try to be, like optimistic or like not partial towards, you because, I like you probably more than Hans Nelson because I don't know him. But I saw that race really the way you saw it, and you didn't feel him hit you, and I didn't see him hit you. It was close, it was like 1 inch close, but I didn't see contact.
Right. Yeah. Nope. Don't think there was. Well, I guess he could have very, very much easily just rolled off a little bit and got him beat, but that's not going to happen. Not in the racer's mind. It's either on or off. I mean, there's no in between.
Yeah. No, that's like the Carter 82 thing. Carter, when Penhall was out there, Carter could have rolled off a little bit, and but he didn't. He just kept it on. And same with Hans. He kept it on, and he never let go. And that caused the crash right there, I believe. Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, and if you don't know about that race, we're going to watch it right now.
Sigalos, Nielsen, that's the way they line up. And away this time, and up to the corner. It's the inside that's broken quickly with Gunderson, and sweeping across comes Nielsen. Nielsen around the outside of everybody there. Sigalos is just holding him out there as they ducked and dived. And here comes Nielsen again around the outside of Dennis Sigalos. In third place it is Phil Collins, and there's not much to choose between all four as they hit the first corner of lap 2, and Sigalos in terrible trouble, and he's taken Nielsen right out there. And Nielsen has gone down, but it looked as though Sigalos picked up some drive and took out Nielsen. Nielsen is down, looking in some trouble. And, well, that is a dramatic event here in Heat 13. And it will be interesting to see what the referee makes of that one. He is a Danish referee, remember. And Nielsen looks to be okay, although unhappy. We'll look at the replay. Nielsen's on his feet. Sigalos goes across. Let's watch. And it looks, here you can see Sigalos losing his helmet colour. Now what does he do? Because it looked to us as though he missed the corner and really took Nielsen straight out into the fence. It happened around about here. There he goes. Now he's as well to maintain control, comes down a bit awkwardly, takes Nielsen right out there, and really Dennis Sigalos must be adjudged the guilty man there. Nielsen's gone down, but Sigalos looked to be the cause of all the trouble.
I can't really understand the guy, but I think I'm back in. I should be back in. It wasn't my fault. I just hooked up traction and lifted, and Hans went into the fence, and I'm sure Hans accepts that. It happens every racing all the time.
Were you excluded at first?
Yes, I was, and it's ridiculous. I shouldn't be.
But the referee's now said you can go back in.
Well, I think so. I can't really understand him. I think so. The light's still on.
Well, the word we have in the referees right next to us is that Sigalos is definitely excluded. No way the referee will change his mind, and the white exclusion light, as you can see, stays on. Well, there is Dennis Sigalos. The referee, Jürgen Deutsch, will not change his mind, and Dennis really now says he's going to go out anyway. He is wasting everybody's time. He's being very, very silly because the referee will not change his mind. It takes her up, and Sigalos there is gesturing, and this really is just a little ludicrous, and this is so unfortunate. Dennis, normally the most imperturbable character, clearly emoting there and upset about that decision. Well, those pictures tell their own story, and he certainly wasn't wishing him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday! Yeah, happy birthday to that referee who made the bad call.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. But yeah, that's what happened. There it is.
Happy birthday, Dennis. Happy birthday.
Well,
you're, what I like about you, Dennis, I like a lot of things, but what I really like about you, like, you're real. Like, Dennis is Dennis, like, love him or whatever, but Dennis is cool. Like, Dennis, like, if he feels a certain way, he just, like, lets you know. He doesn't care. Like the announcer said, why is Dennis doing this? It's silly. It's not silly. Dennis felt like, hey, I was screwed. So, like, up yours, dude. So you're like a realistic guy. You're not a phony. Dennis is, and the announcer's like, why is he doing that? Well, because he's pissed off. That's why.
Yeah, wasting everyone's time. And
no,
He did say
No.
like that, and I'm not usually like that. If I'm in the wrong, but I didn't feel I was in the wrong at that time, so I wanted to express my thoughts and my feelings to the ref, and yeah, it is what it is. But it was a good time, and I got a hell of a picture out of it. So I think Patrick, got that shot, and it was a beauty, man. It's still spreading around.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, you have a lot of beauties, actually.
All good.
Can I show you another beauty of yours? You want to see it?
Oh boy, sure. Yeah, let's see it.
This one right here. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, well, that's the picture. That's the one right there.
Is that the one with Hans?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one.
Are you kidding me?
No, serious. That was my oh shit moment.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. You are like in perfect control of that out of control bike.
That I was never out of control, right?
No, you had it all planned out that way.
Planned out. Yeah, that's it, man. I hooked.
Wow.
Luckily that I didn't crash, or that it wasn't a lot worse than what it eventually was. Just to get excluded. I mean, I could have taken both of us out through the fence and injured both of us or one of us, or really been an ugly day. But luckily I was able to keep her somewhat under control and be able to ride out of it.
Well, I think you're better than a D3 rider if you can do that.
Well, I put laps on it. I'm certainly impressed with myself to get out of D3. My God.
Well, actually, we're going to talk. We have a video of that. We're going to talk. Do you want to see that video of D3, Dennis Sigalos?
Oh man, I don't think I've ever seen a Division III race of mine in my life.
Well, actually, I thought there was more footage, Dennis, when I filmed it, and the DVD started going bad because it's so old, and I did get a little bit of you, and I made a blog of it, and actually I threw me in the blog too because we were kind of like the same time, the same era of D3.
Yeah, sure.
And so. But I didn't get as much clipping. What happened was the guy who did the editing, I gave the guy all the footage. It was on, in the older days before they invented water, they had like Super 8mm cameras before you remember those, right? The 8mm things.
Yeah, I do have some. And there's some really memorable moments and some of that stuff when I was real young, from my mom and dad.
Oh, for sure. And what happened was the guy who did the editing, I told him, I give him the footage. I had it all nicely. And then he went ahead and started chopping it up and making it creative and stuff like that, putting music on. I didn't want that. I just wanted the guy to like play the race, flat. But he didn't do that. So a lot of that was chopped out, which is sad because I really want that footage because that's why I paid the guy. And so I do have what I have of you. It's not a lot. I thought it was a lot, but there's some, I guess you were wearing like a gold helmet at the time, just like a goldish helmet, right? It was like something like that. Maybe. Well, we're going to see that. And I'm going to point it out in the video. I did a blog on that. But me and you are going in our first turn together. You were on the 10-yard line, and actually you passed me on the inside, which was pretty cool. I thought it was the outside. And there's not a lot of footage of you, which I apologize. I didn't do that. But I put it together as best as I could, and I just threw me in D3 because I don't have a lot of pictures of me, really. And but in the video, I'm kind of trying to get it so people can see, because it goes so fast that if I don't tell you, you probably will blink and then you'll I don't know what happened. But I was, it's not that much, so I don't want to make it a big deal. But
Yeah.
you know, it is, and you can see Dennis and me. I pointed out in the video, and I didn't even know how to ride a bike. You know, Dennis was like a D1 rider, and I told Dennis I was like a D4 rider because I was on the bike like a couple days, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And you went ahead and you passed me on the inside with a real clean, slick move, and then you just took off. And you beat everyone by a half a lap, which is not on the video. And you went ahead and smoked everyone in that D3 main event. Do you remember that?
I can't say that I do, but it was always probably nice to get that little check at the end for winning a handicap main or whatever.
Yeah. You probably won like $25 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
D3 didn't pay that much, okay?
Did not. Didn't. But
I remember. I never won a D3 main event like you, but I did win some main events the following year, but it wasn't D3. I got moved up. I didn't stay there very long, only that one sort of season. But it was cool. And it was good to race you. And I told you this on our last blog that I saw you racing like as a young child, and then I saw you again like when it was time to race, and you were kind of over kitty corner from me, and I was wearing those ugly uniform, and you had the beautiful Bates leathers and stuff. The white ones with orange. Do you remember those ones?
Yeah, something that we were always, your first nice set of leathers. You're always so proud of them and what have you. But they were white and orange, I think, and had some kind of an orange helmet, or I can't remember the helmet. I might have been my a white helmet, which I have in my garage here, and my father-in-law sponsored me through Carta Blanca beer, or nice. Bohemia beer, and so I do remember that, but. Watch the video, because it looks like you're wearing like I don't know really, but it looks like a little bit like a goldish or orange or something like that. I don't think it was a white one. It was like a darker color. Okay, I'll tell you, because I know I used Bruce's helmet one time in D3 because my visor was broken or it wouldn't work, so he ran out real quick and gave me his helmet, and maybe I'm using his helmet. I don't know. Let's have a look and we'll check it out. Okay, let's check that out. It goes pretty fast, so I'm kind of like warning everybody that it does move fast. And I don't have a lot of pictures of you. I wish I would have had the trophy girl one back in OCIR. Oh, right. Yeah. The 6 foot tall trophy girl, and you're like 3 foot tall. Yeah, I'm just about to her waist. That's about it. But we're going to go ahead and rock and roll the D3 race. So watch close, everybody, because it moves kind of fast. So, and watch Dennis. He's wearing those white leathers. You'll see me, and he just zooms by me. And I am not joking. Dennis was gone. I mean, this guy was fast. And like I said before the race, I said to myself, I'm going to beat Dennis Sigalos. I'm going to beat Dennis Sigalos. And I said to him, I was no good, to be honest with you. But I saw you with those beautiful white leathers with the orange. And I said, I'm going to take that guy down. And I got my ass killed. I finally beat someone. But I wanted to beat you, but my ability wasn't quite there after a week or two on a speedway bike. Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Oh, so it was funny, but my attitude was really funny. I always remember that, because you were so beautiful and I was so ragtag, and I was like, that's not fair. It was fun. So here we go. We're going to play the Dennis Sigalos, one of his only D3 rides you will ever see. And it's right here.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make.
Come back, and we have the first D3 race with Dennis Sigalos, his first and only D3 at Costa Mesa Speedway. He actually passed me on the inside. I always thought it was the outside, but Dennis just, oh, he went through me. It's just a short clip, so don't expect too much. But this is a few videos of the D3 days of the Bumblebee, and Dennis Sigalos was in the first race. It's kind of fun, so check it out. Well,
dude, I couldn't even see. I couldn't tell what it was. I get, maybe it's because it was so small. I'm on my phone, so I couldn't get heads or tails who was who and all the different pile. I do realize I saw you on there, sure, but hey, that goes back a long time.
Yeah, you know, I've been wanting to do like that kind of a video, really, to be honest with you. And I had just a small footage and it wasn't that much, but it's kind of, and I wish I had more footage of you, you know, like I didn't have that. And the camera person was focused on me, of course, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, that was the way it worked out. But I would have loved to have more footage of you. And I think I was in another race with you, and I don't know. We'll I don't know, show that another time. It was a D1 race, though. I don't think it was a D3. It wasn't D3, and but that was just a fun race. I always like to put together. I have like around 1,200 blogs and videos, and I've really never put together a really good D3 video of like racing and live footage. And I mean, you never can repay or relive those days of D3, right, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I certainly don't have any video of it. I have some pictures and, you know, photo albums that were put together. So, you know, I mean, they're all buried. Everything's buried now, and I don't have time to look at stuff and, you know, relive it. You know, I got other things to do, but the memories are all right here. You know, that's the main thing. Haven't forgot those.
Exactly. Exactly. We're going to talk about something else, but I want to ask you about this picture. I think you were trying to outdo Scott Autry here, and I think Scott Autry is really mad at you when he saw this picture.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I think that was from the fan club or from a fan that made that, and who am I to say no? I'm not going to wear that. Hell yes, I'm going to wear that, and have a good time with it. And shit, I don't know. Maybe it came from the cowboy cook from old Cook 'em Up. We called him the cowboy, right? And
Yeah.
cowboy hats. But yeah, Scott definitely is the cowboy for sure, and probably the first guy to wear a cowboy hat around the Speedway Stadium. But
Oh, definitely. And some shit kickers too on his feet.
another legend for sure.
Yeah, Scott Autry is just, he just has this history that's really, and he's a humble guy. He doesn't care. And he said, I don't care if people remember me or not. What a guy.
Totally. Yeah, Scott is kind of a mild-mannered guy. But, what an honor to know him and, be able to ride with him and against him.
Oh.
And be our team captain, from the start of our American team over in England. What a guy, what a man, and a lot of memories.
Wow. He was really talented. And was his riding the same like towards the end? Wasn't he a reserve on one of the teams like in 82 or something? Was he a reserve? I thought I saw that.
Yeah, I think he was. I think in a World Team Cup or something like that. I mean, the American boys had so much up and coming talent, and Scott was never one to say, well, I'm the guy. I mean, he was always what's best for the team. So I can't remember, but any one of the American boys would have given up a spot if they thought someone else was a little faster, because the objective is to go win the overall, win the meeting, and have the American flag at the top of the box in the day. That's what the objective was.
Exactly. No, you're right. And no, that's true. And I guess Scott Autry is just a true like good sport and gentleman. And you guys, I look at the lineup you guys had, there was no weakness from top to bottom. I mean, you guys were all like stars.
Yeah, I was just glad to be part of it, and need to be accepted as a team member on the American team, and the test matches and all that stuff was, that's what you work hard for, and that's what you strive for, and that's what you dream for as a kid growing up, and starting out racing in D3. I mean, shit, I had no idea that I would ever be going to Europe and riding under Ivan Major. I mean, to begin with, that was a memory of mine that I'll never forget as far as that goes, to take something to go watch and to be a fan of, and then to be able to turn into a career and ride with the top guys and be at the top of the heap, at some time in my career anyways. I mean, I certainly wasn't the best guy out there, but, I had some good days and had some bad ones as well, but never considered myself to be the best guy out there. I was one of the top, and that's the way I rode it, and that's the way I rolled, and lucky enough to win some and lose some, but I had some really cool, some good wins, and proud of them, and proud of the American team.
Just awesome. Yeah, some of the young riders have said on my show, they have said that those teams that you were on, like the 82 teams and different teams like that, they say that the American team, the American riders now, or maybe in the future, but there will never be another team quite as good as those group of guys that you raced with. I mean, these young guys are saying that. That really shocked me, because you had a great team.
Well, that's what they're saying now as young guys, and as we did as young guys. And then as you get older, you get more experience and you get some, some victories under your belt. It's nice to be remembered like that for sure. But the American boys, if we dropped off a little bit and maybe didn't have a real strong team, but I think the time is right now. Some good American boys racing over there, and they got some tough shoes to fill, that's for sure. I mean, Hancock retired. One of the young kids as we were racing, one of the young kids that was up and coming, and I know that was his passion. And hell, Uncle Bill's dad used to paint all of our helmets and stuff. I think every single helmet that I rode over the years, his dad, Uncle Bill painted it. Nice. And I still have one. I still up on the in the garage here that was my last helmet that I decided to keep. Not a big collector of trophies and what have you. I don't have the time or the room and the space. I have some of my better memorable trophies and what have you. But I mean, we had a blessed time and it was really cool. And but I'd never count the American boys out, and I think we got a good squad now. And we got to keep that ball rolling and keep the races, keep the winning side, and we got to keep on moving on.
Yep. Well, we have a lot of talent, and next week on our show, we're going to do all young riders. We're going to have a week of all the young youth riders, no old people like us, except for me. But and
good. Well,
we're going to have. Yeah, we want to. Yeah, get those guys going, because there's a lot of talent in the youth nowadays in the speedway scene, and they just need to just keep working hard and keep going. There's some really big talent if they put it all together in this sort of young crop of guys here.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and hopefully wish them luck. And next week, like I said, we're going to have just all young people and no old people on the show. So that's going to be fun. We never did that before, but we're going to try that. But getting back to the show, actually, there was a motocross rider named Warren Reed. Actually, he's still alive. And he was on the show a few weeks ago, and he was telling me about an experience that he was with you. He was an announcer with Larry Huffman some years ago, around 84 or 85. And it was the world qualifier, the championship qualifier at Long Beach. And Larry Huffman was announcing that event. And he was interviewing you. And then he asked you something about Kenny Carter. And then I guess John Sandona's wife, the late John Sandona, rest in peace, his wife said something about Kenny Carter. You were being interviewed by Huffman in the announcer's booth, and then it was a full house. There was like lots of people, and here's Dennis Sigalos up there talking, I guess, with Huffman. This is what Warren said, and you said that I guess they asked, his wife asked, like, what about Kenny Carter? She said that to you, and you had the microphone in your hand. You said, everyone knows Kenny Carter is a dick. And do you remember saying that? Do you remember that or not?
I think you kind of broke up, but I don't recall saying that. I mean, I read Kenny a lot in my days with Hull, especially because we were up in the north, and we visited Halifax quite a bit, riding against them in some different events and what have you. And believe it or not, Kenny and I we got on pretty well.
Good.
I like to think that I was kind of an easygoing guy, and I think he was a little easier going in his younger youth. And then when I moved out of the neighborhood, he was never mean to me as far as that goes. I was never mean to him. we certainly had some run-ins, if you will, at the racetrack. But you know, he might have taken me out a few times. I may have taken him out a few times. But really, I'm not really that kind of guy. I'd rather race you hard, and I'm sure he did as well. But you know, I think as you get better, maybe started getting a little cocky. You know, I mean, called the Yorkshire Terrier or you know, whatever. I had respect for Kenny, but I know towards the end, maybe not so much. I like to respect everyone, but you know, I saw some of the dirty deeds that he was doing and taking people to the fence, and with BP and him, that wasn't cool. You know, him and I had a few run-ins here and there. I know at Swindon, you know, he got excluded. He touched the tapes, and you know, it was all a bunch of hoopla. And look at Sigalos, and well, the rule was you can't touch the tapes anymore. And we got excluded. This was an America versus England event, and we were all told if you touch the tapes, you're excluded. So maybe a race or two prior to the instance I'm referring to, one of the American boys touched the tapes, and he was excluded immediately.
Oh. Sounds like a double standard to me, that, you know, and Dennis's camera slowed down a little bit. There you go.
So anyway, he touched the tapes and then came back in, and he touched again. So I backed up. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on? The referee said if anyone touches the tapes, they get excluded. Well, he just did it twice, and the light didn't come on for his exclusion. So I kind of boycotted and said, what the hell, you know? And then they finally did exclude him, and Kenny got all in an uproar, you know, that I was down. Look at Sigalos, he messed up the whole race. And kind of joke between the American boys, especially with Cookie, when I see Cookie, about that's the first words out of his mouth is look at Sigalos. So it is what it is. He got excluded. You know, the race went on without him, and you know, life went on. But I never really had any big dilemmas as some riders did. What's wrong?
I got you. And yeah,
are you there? There we go. We're back.
Yeah, I got you, Dennis. Well, he was good friends with Kelly Moran too. I saw them hubnubbing and talking and laughing and stuff like that, you know, pictures and things. So I think Kelly is an easygoing guy, and he got along pretty good with Kenny Carter. Did you notice that?
Kelly got along well with everyone, and there again, you know, Kelly and I rode for Hull, so we were both up there, and we saw a lot of Kenny and the rest of the Northern riders. And you know, as we spoke before, Kelly was just a lover. I mean,
what? Yeah,
he let slide on anything, even if they got taken to the fence. Well, he'd live and learn, and you know, move on to the next thing. But you know, I'd like to say Kelly was friends with everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, there was just no getting around that. And but I never really had any big fallouts with Kenny, and until the end, you know, what he did and family and all that. I mean, I just can't forgive anyone for that. That's just that's a cheap. But, never want to talk ill of the past, if you will. So we'll just keep battle together, and we were friendly for a while, and you know, then shit happened, and it is what it is.
No, that's right. And yeah, I did a blog, and I kind of ripped on Kenny about that. And it's actually one of my #1 blogs. I mean, it has so many views. And I notice every week my Kenny Carter, it was my first one. I've made a few, but the first one I did, all my friends on Facebook, they were like telling me like, do not do a blog on Kenny Carter. Okay. And then I was like, well, you know, I was kind of thinking, well, I didn't do a blog because I love Kenny Carter. I don't hate him either, but it's just a part of Speedway history, really. It's like that. It's not really love or hate. I don't respect, what he did. I think it's just horrible. And I mentioned that in my blog, and I was not very, nice about what happened. So I don't agree with any of that stuff. But I wanted to share, who this guy was a little bit, just to kind of like, share it. And it's really, it's my first Kenny Carter blog, and it continues to just rip up on the internet. And I'm kind of shocked but then I show it to the Kenny Carter people on Facebook, and they like want to kill me because I try to speak as honest as I could. And the Kenny Carter lovers, they hate me, because I did that. But I didn't mean to be bad. I just wanted to be honest as I could,
Yeah. No intentional disrespect.
No, I don't hate him. I mean, I don't agree with what, he did, but I don't hate him and want to trash him and want to make BS blogs and try to make the guy look bad. I didn't think that at all. I tried to just, study history and just say that, as much as of course I'm not perfect. And of course I didn't say everything perfect. Like that first blog, I went ahead and screwed up on you. I said you got 4th place. But
I've been fourth many a time anyway. So
yeah, but on this, I'm going to play a blog for you here. And on this blog, I did not screw up. I said you won the 82 Best Pairs Championship with the Boogaloo Bobby Schwartz. And we're going to play that right now.
Right on.
Welcome, and today we're going to blog a very special writer, another special writer, Dennis Arthur Sigalos. They call him Siggy. He was born August 15th, 1959 in Garden Grove, California. The Sigaloses and the Penhalls were best of friends. Dennis and Bruce, they grew up at age 7 and 8 years old, hanging out with each other because their families were best friends. The two fathers raced SK flat-bottom boats together. They were competing against each other in boats. And later in the mid-90s, Dennis and Bruce would team up with the Ocean Spray boat and win a world championship. They were multi-time world champions in 2 different opposite sports. But tragedy hit both families on New Year's Day, 1975, when Dennis's mother and Bruce's mom and dad were coming home from a ski trip at Mammoth Mountain. Dennis's father, Tony, had to take a different plane. And Bruce, young Bruce Penhall, he was supposed to be on that trip. And thank God he wasn't. And because he was playing baseball, he was trying out for the Newport Beach Harbor baseball team. And he said to his mom and dad, I cannot go, I'm practicing baseball. It was just a huge tragedy for both families, and especially for young Dennis and Bruce. It just devastated their life, and I think it influenced them. I had purchased a speedway bike from Danny Becker at that same time, and I was reading the newspaper, the Orange County Register, one day, and it talked about Dennis Sigalos, and it said that there's a up-and-coming speedway rider, and he was practicing with Bruce Penhall. The newspaper article said Dennis Sigalos would be a future speedway star, and it was right. I just started practicing speedway, and Dennis was like a D1 rider practicing with the famous Bruce Penhall. Well, I had my first race at Costa Mesa that year, and I had my first time on the program, and I looked in the program and it said, you're racing Dennis Arthur Sigalos. That was Dennis's only race ever in D3. I raced Dennis in his first race and only race in D3 at Costa Mesa Speedway. And I was on the 0-yard line and Dennis was on the 10-yard line. And I thought, I can beat that guy. And I'm thinking, just go for it, dude. And Dennis was like a world-class D1 rider at the time. And the tape went off. I was in the first turn in first place. And I'm like, I'm beating that guy. And then Dennis went all around me. And he flew. He was like a half a lap ahead of me about the first lap. He just was amazing. Dennis just went on from there. And he was just an incredible rider. But I rode against Dennis in his first and only D3 race. Do you remember that, Dennis? Dennis's speedway racing career lasted about 8 or 9 years, from 1976 to partly in 1985. Dennis had many noticeable accomplishments, and some of them were like this: the 1982 World Pairs Champion with Boogaloo Bobby Schwartz. 1982 British Open Speedway Champion. 1983 Americans Final Champion. 1983 Golden Helmet Champion in Czech Republic. Dennis Sigalos, an American superstar. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Yeah, that's right. Ring that bell. And also, that was just, Dennis was just an amazing rider, and he just lit it up pretty much. And that guy just kept getting better and better and better. Actually, I talked to Bruce Penhall, and Bruce Penhall said that if Dennis didn't have that injury in Long Beach, that Dennis probably would have been a future world champion. And that's coming from Bruce Penhall, a two-time world champion. And if a world champion says that about you, that's probably a pretty good indicator. That's probably pretty true. So Dennis Sigalos did, have his career cut a little short, but his talent was off the charts. And Bruce Penhall was quoted for saying that if Dennis didn't have that injury, there's a good chance we might be calling Dennis a world champion. What do you think about that, Dennis?
I had to pay him a lot of money to say that. Man.
Oh. So how much money did you pay Juicy Brucey?
Well, it was only a couple shekels.
A couple
Captain and Cokes.
Well, I heard Bruce works for kind of cheap price, so that's probably good.
Yeah, sometimes he works for food or entertainment.
Hey,
yeah,
I do the same.
No telling what happened. What could have happened. It wasn't in the cards for me. I got injured and had some pressures at home to get to work and get to normality and my dad but like I said earlier, I wouldn't change it. And I never won the individual world championship, but I won some other big events.
Yes.
Day that I did it, and I got to travel the world with my girlfriend and my wife now. And, coming up on Valentine's Day tomorrow. So happy Valentine's Day. I call her Jones. So happy Valentine's Day, Mrs. But,
nice.
Just the memories are there, and to be able to, hang out with the boys and BP and, family, friends. And, it was a fun ride. It was a fun ride. And like I said, I wouldn't have changed it for anything. It was a special time in my life for sure.
Wow, that's really cool. I met a relative of yours. I never told you this, and I just thought of it. I was working. I actually, I was delivering while you were, I think it was around the time you got injured or just shortly afterwards. And I wanted to race Speedway again. I was working for this company in Anaheim by Disneyland. And I guess this lady, she said she's a relative, maybe your sister or a cousin or a niece or something. Maybe you can help me with that. But she's a very sweet lady. And I was delivering these linens for this company to this hotel next to Disneyland called the Conestoga Inn, and it was a restaurant. And there was a very, high class, beautiful lady, and we got talking. And then she said, Dennis Sigalos is like, I don't know, it was like my brother or my relative or something. And I said, really? I know Dennis. I know who he is. And she said, yeah. And then we got talking, and then I told this lady, she's very beautiful. She had dark hair, I believe. And she was really a high class lady. And she said she was a relative of yours. I forgot exactly. It was a long time ago. And then I said, I want to race. I think because the Speedway riders kind of always have that itch to ride a bike. Some don't, but I always did. And so I said, I have an itch to ride Speedway again. And then I guess you had your accident. And the lady said, no, don't race Speedway. Dennis got hurt pretty bad. And, maybe think about, because so I kind of remember. Do you know that lady?
Sounds like Doris, my dad's sister, Doris Heil. Which, cousins in. And yes, she's still with us. Love her dearly. Don't talk to her near enough, but the cousins, we kind of stay in touch, but yeah, sounds like Doris. Yeah, absolutely. What a sweetheart of a. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. But I think that's who you're referring to.
Yeah, she was sweet. I think she was like the owner or the manager or something of this restaurant. It was really high class, and they served expensive foods, and it was really it was like a 5-star restaurant. Do you remember that one or heard of it?
Yeah. Doris and Dell, her husband Dell. They were the owners and operators, and great people. We have spent some time together, but we live so close to one another that even though you never get to see enough of your family because everyone's doing different things and what have you, but she's always in my mind, and Janet and August and Dwayne and David Heil, my cousin. He's big time custom clothing maker here in Costa Mesa, California. David August Clothing is his company, and he outfits some of the bigs. I mean, oh my gosh, the talent that he's got. He gave me like 3 shirts several years back, and I still wear them, and they're just tailored perfectly, and the really classy look. And you feel good when you dress up, and every time I wear those shirts, I feel good, man. I feel better than what I am.
You're sexy, dude. You're sexy.
Love them dearly. Love all the family. My sister and Craig and Anthony Connor, the car racer, the factory BMW driver. Real proud of him, and extra proud of my son Arden and my daughter Avalon and their lives and their accomplishments, and get to go riding quite a bit with my son. We hope to get a trip planned for next week. I haven't been out for a while. I crashed. I tell you, town doesn't get any softer with time. That's for sure. And I've been kind of licking my wound for a couple months. So talking to him last night, he says, "Hey, come on, Pops, let's maybe go out next weekend, go out to Paris or something." I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good enough to go run a few laps now, and maybe even meet up with a couple of my other cousins, Marcotts, Brittany and Brianna, one of the hottest shoes out there in women's motocross. And actually, I think it's Brittany races or started racing for in the Monster Jam. She was was able to drive one of those big trucks. Oh god dang, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was one that has the big hands out in front, and I think she was just getting going, and then the COVID hit and they weren't having races, so she went back to doing some racing, and I see her on the Instagram and stuff like that, and she's ripping it up as far as in the women's class go. But she hauls ass, man. It's good to see. So I always give her a thumbs up and stuff when I see stuff that they're posting. But good family times.
Nice. Yeah. Well, tell your cousin, I guess, hi, and tell her I still remembered her.
Yeah, cool. I'll pass that along next time I see Doris for sure.
And tell her I really always remembered her because she was a very rememberable, good person. Like she was just a nice person, like she just was like a sweetheart, she was so nice.
And still is. I mean, there's no classier woman in the world as far as I'm concerned, and their family as well. Love them dearly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for passing that word on for me. And it was good. But getting back to Speedway, sadly in 1982, the American Speedway was struck with a very big tragedy at Hackney Stadium when fellow American rider Denny Pyatt passed away in a tragic Speedway accident. Actually, he was, I guess he was riding on the outside, and I guess he hit somebody, and he actually flew over the fence, and he hit this pole, I guess, near the pits, and it was pretty tragic. And I read articles, and they said they never saw anyone fly over a fence like Denny did, and it was a high fence too. It wasn't little; it was super high, and Denny flew over that, and he hit this pole, and it was it was really sad. And he passed away, and it was a tragedy that everybody really affected. It was a fellow teammate. It was a member of the USA, and I just wanted to ask you, Dennis, how did that affect you when Denny passed away so tragically at the Hackney Stadium in 1982?
Well, it affected all the boys over there. Being a fellow American teammate over in a different land, if you will, and he was the first guy, the first friend, the first teammate that unfortunately was killed racing Speedway. So we all took it really, really hard, and why and what happened, and it's just one of those things. I think they kind of came together, and Denny did fly over the fence and hit that lamp standard that didn't have any padding around it. But, who was to ever know that someone could potentially hit that pole? I mean, it was just one of those things that, God dang it, it was real traumatic for all the boys, and trying to figure out what the heck happened, and we all kind of carry that same fear, if you will. Well, you don't think about it as much, but it could have happened to any of us. We had a lot of wild experiences and a lot of different crashes and hitting the fence and some crazy airplane rides from the continent back to England, and had some issues there one trip, but it's something that will never be forgotten. And I know we all have pictures of Denny around our own photos because he was one of the boys. And I got to spend a lot of time with him in Aussie one year. I forget what they call it, Tri-Nation Series or something like that. And Denny was part of the crew. So we had a lot of good times and memories there. And yeah, it was traumatic for all of us, and what a sad loss. Mm-hmm. Cookie still goes up and visits his gravesite up there. He always sends me a picture of it and the view that Denny sees, when he was laid to rest. But a partner and teammate that will never be forgotten, along with many others, and that's life, and that's the facts.
Mm. Yeah, Cookie and Denny were like really close friends because before he went to England, Cookie and Denny used to come down south and race at the Santa Ana Bowl every week. And I was racing against them every week in D1. And we had some good battles, especially Cookie and me. And Denny was a younger rider. He wasn't doing as well at that time. And they were driving down south from, I guess they're Northern California riders. And they were good buddies. So I'm sure that Denny's passing really affected Cookie quite heavily.
Totally. Absolutely 100%. And, like I said, he's never forgotten. And when Cookie comes down here, which hasn't been down in a year or so because of the COVID and all that good stuff, but we still talk and text quite a bit. Cookie out horsing around out in the pine forest, riding his new Husky, and him and Freddie, his boy, out there ripping it up. And like, God dang, I wish I just want to get up there so bad. We've talked about it. And, it's a long ways to go for a weekend. So we really have to try to schedule something for like a 4-day deal when my son can get off of work, and we can all go up there, and Cookie and Freddie and me and Arden can go rip around up there for a couple of days up in the pine forest. And Cookie's got a million places to ride, and these little lakes, and pine forest, and loamy mountain roads, and wood chips. And Cookie's the best storyteller with all the descriptions and all the sound effects that you hear from him. One of a kind. But our Denny lives on with all of us in life, and I can't wait to get up to see Johnny for sure.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Well, Cookie had, I guess, a real severe injury. I guess he crashed on a motocross bike and he broke his back or almost was paralyzed. And Cookie was really messed up. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was. And when we all heard about it, I loaded up and went up there and helped him out. Just to kind of be there and, help them function and cook them some dinner, or, can I clean the house for you? Or, I think we might've went up there a couple different times. And the second time I wanted to clear the property in the back. So someone brought over a backhoe or a loader or something like that. I'm like, I'll drive that. And I knocked down buildings and graded dirt all day long. And had some other friends from Northern California. Rooney was, I'm sure, up there, and I think I stayed and I brought a little 3-man tent, and I think I even brought my son Arden and my nephew Anthony up there to go riding and ripping around there, and just to kind of help out and run some RC cars. But yeah, he was messed up. He is so lucky to be able to walk and to ride again, because I think he got a bar, steel rod in his back still, and he kind of, I'm sure he's always going to have pain, but he makes the best of it. And like I said, he gets out and does some riding and some jet skiing and cruising around, but he's just got to keep it a little lower key, and can't get out of control, and certainly can't fall down, because you never want to re-injure something like that again. But yeah, he had a bad get off.
That's terrible. Well, tell Cookie hi for me.
I will.
We were kind of enemies at one time, and Cookie would win, and then I would win, and Cookie would win, and we didn't talk to each other. We were kind of like enemies, on the track. So, but Cookie was good, and he's a good rider, and I respect him so much.
Yeah, for sure, and I do too, and love him dearly. And I'm just plugging my phone because it's about ready to die.
Uh-oh.
I've had enough trouble today, but yeah, absolutely. I'll pass along your regards, Brian, for sure.
Say hi to Cookie. He probably doesn't remember me, and if he remembers me, he probably doesn't like me, but I like Cookie, and he's a good guy.
Cookie's a lover for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't hold grudges.
Good. I didn't know him that well, but we just looked at each other all the time at the pits, and we never fight. We just not say nothing.
Sure, absolutely. All right, I get you.
We just look at each other like, I know you.
Right. Sure.
You know how it is with those European riders. You just look at them and you don't really say much.
Yeah, for sure. There's some that do and some that don't, and everyone's different in life and what they like to do. So everyone's got their own way.
Exactly. Well, let's go back to Denny Pyatt. We're going to go ahead and see Denny Pyatt shortly before his passing, and we're really sad about this because we raced against him and we raced with him, and here's Denny Pyatt.
Wasn't too bad. It's a lot different than in America, the smaller tracks we run, but for my first night I think I did all right, and I'm looking forward to giving another try.
The tracks are much shorter, aren't they, in the States?
Yes, they're probably about 1/4 of the size of the tracks here, and it's the same type of sport, and you do the same thing when you're on the bike. It's just you have to adapt your style a little bit to ride the longer tracks.
You're impressed with the way the boys start over here?
Yes, I've noticed that right off the bat is what we call gating. When you go out of the starting gate, they're a lot quicker over here. This is world-class competition. You got guys from all over the world, and they really know what they're doing.
What made you come over here, Denny?
Well, what I just mentioned, world-class competition. If you want to be a world-class rider, you got to ride against the best to learn, and that's what I'm doing here.
Well, Denny was one of the best. I mean, that guy was really good, a world-class competition rider, and he could just ride. I mean, that guy, what's cool about Denny Pyatt is, like I said, he actually had a pretty slow start in Speedway. He was a good rider, but he wasn't really like the Denny Pyatt of his England days, because I got to see Denny with his beginning days. And he was pretty easy to beat, actually. Denny never beat me, actually, I don't think. Maybe once, but I don't remember. But Denny just kept getting better and better and better. And he just, became an awesome rider. And I guess that's, the thing you want to say to the young riders is what you are today doesn't mean you're going to be that way tomorrow. Look at Dennis Sigalos. I mean, he just continued to progress. Everybody continues to progress, and Denny Pyatt was no different. And Dennis, so you guys dedicated the World Team Cup to Denny in 1982. Is that correct?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, one of our fallen heroes for sure. And like you say, everyone starts out slow, and going to Europe is the key there. Getting to ride against all those top riders over there and watching and learning and talking to them and experiencing the the different world, if you will, of Speedway and the world in general. I mean, it's totally different than California back in those days, anyways. But we all went over with a plan to get better. It was our passion that we wanted to do, regardless of who you were. We all wanted to go to Europe and try to make a name for ourselves and to bring home a world championship or world team, or just have success and make a nice living over there. And as I did, I made a pretty good living and got to see the world. And there's no other way that you could have done that. I'm sure you can go on vacation, what have you, but it's you're not getting to the nitty gritty and getting down in the trenches with the people of Europe, and the loving memories that I have with the people that I met over there throughout all my different tracks that I rode in my career. I mean, just to meet the people are just unbelievable, and the fans are second to none. In my time, anyways. I mean, everyone had a fan club, and everyone hated someone and everyone loved someone. So kind of like a football team. And just really pleased and happy to be part of it. And never forget our Denny, for sure. He was one of the greats, and lost him way too soon.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, what I liked about what you and Penhall and Schwartzy and Ron Preston and the whole gang, the Morans, everybody. What I liked is you guys went ahead and you dedicated yourself to win the 82 World Team Cup. And also you guys won that. And what was that like, winning that for the fallen soldier, Denny Pyatt?
Well, I can't say that I was, I want to say that I wasn't maybe included in the team. Did I get hurt then? I was out of the team the year that we actually won it. I was injured. But I was still there. I think a couple of years prior to that, I think we got third, or we didn't quite win, and it might have been in Poland. But I know I was a part of the team and helped the team to get to the final. But I don't believe that I was actually riding on the actual day of the final when they won it. But still to be there and to be part of the team was really cool.
Well, maybe something happened, but here we go. We're going to watch a little video.
Right.
I stuck it out because I knew I couldn't come home. It was like my dad said, "You're gone. I'll see you in 9 months, and don't show up. Don't show up back here in California." So I couldn't. I had nowhere else to go. So I had to stay. I had $200 in my pocket, and a bike, and that was it. So yeah, it's great.
This is unbelievable action. Kenneth with a face mask, and Moran, and look at them go.
If you want to be a world-class rider, you got to ride against the best to learn, and that's what I'm doing here.
Green lights on. And look at those Americans. When they pull on that body colour, they grow in stature.
Right, Gary. I think in any team, it's team spirit that counts, and we've got it.
And they're in against Sigalos, and Sigalos has looked like a man from another planet. He has been so much in command, it has been almost embarrassing.
Well, you've had maximum points so far, so how do you look at it?
Well, I look at it's great. I got a brand new bike. I'm just first time it's ever been on the track tonight, and it's beautiful. It feels really good. The tires great, and everything is going fantastic for me right now.
Well, those pictures tell their own story, and he certainly wasn't wishing him a happy birthday. That will please the American fans, and there are many of them who follow these Californians with British League sides. That will please them here at Dudley Wood. Oh my word, he's got around him. There could not have been any ground to spare him. And squeezes him out, puts his leg out and stops him. My word, almost stopped him with his leg. And that of these spectacle merchants from the States who are absolutely taking England apart. Good team tactics here. The Americans up front, they do seem to have this telepathic understanding. Bobby Schwartz is such a super pairs rider. He's shared this title twice before.
If you miss a gate, you could pass, and it just ain't like that sometimes, And
I was out chasing Kenny, and I looked and seen Jeremy, and he was there, and then all of a sudden Larry was there out of nowhere, and this type of meeting, it's so prestige to win, so we weren't doing dirty tactics, but we did the tactics we had to do to bring home the gold.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm not too keen on coming over to British League because I've established myself so well in the States and done what I've really wanted to do from the States, so I'm not in a hurry to come back to Britain right now.
We got third. It was good to get on the rostrum. Hats off to Denmark.
Very good. So, what are some of your memories from watching the great United States Speedway team? And you were included, and that announcer said some pretty nice stuff about you, Dennis.
Yeah. You know, I just have wonderful memories of my whole racing career and in general. You know, starting out here in California as a young lad to you know, the end of my time with Wolverhampton. You know, and in between was Hull and Ipswich, and you know, Australia a handful of times over there to get more and more seat time, and you know, race for America over there. And I just have nothing but really good memories, and you know, won some good stuff. You know, got injuries, few injuries here and there, but all in all, there's no complaints here, and I'm able to still remember it and still be able to walk upright, and still got a bad limp. You know, first thing in the morning for about the first half hour for my injury, but I consider myself lucky that I'm still around and still able to remember and to talk about the good times.
Oh, that's awesome. So how is your leg or your foot doing now after all these years and having that terrible injury? Are you I think Bruce told me you have sometimes a little limp or that your foot bothers you. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It pretty much always bothers me. I always know that, you know, it's there or whatever, you know, it still hurts. You know, if I go out riding for the day or snow skiing or water skiing or, you know, have some real big activity, usually the next morning, kind of tough to kind of walk around for the first half hour, you know, 45 minutes or so till things get kind of warmed up. And then it usually goes away. And, you know, then when I come back at home at night and sit down, then it seizes up again. So, you know, it's never going to go away. It's never going to get any better. But, you know, there again, you know, I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky to, you know, the doctor did a good job on the repair. You know, lost quite a bit of movement in it. But it hasn't stopped me from a normal life or day-to-day activities. I just kind of be careful on how I twist and move and walk on uneven surfaces. You know, got pains up in the shoulders from multiple dislocations, and you know, left ankle's got a screw in it still from racing over there, so that one actually hurts sometimes as well. But all in all, I have no complaints, and I'll take it. I mean, people get old and cranky and banged up just in normal life. So I had a very active life and bit of a crazy life. So, you know, I was happy that's all that happened to me. You know, could have been a heck of a lot worse for sure. So I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you're alive and you're kicking, so that's very important.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like I said, I get to, you know, hang out with my kids and go riding with my son and go out to the Pease Lake House. And my daughter, Avalon, drove Bruce's Can-Am and really loved it and enjoyed that. And we got a couple good shots of her ripping around and, you know, doing some jumps here and there. So she's a active gal, and Deb, my wife, she's active, and, you know, we're all active people and, you know, enjoy life. And Really fortunate to have some good close friends that we're able to hang with and do things with and be normal with, is, you know, with them. You know, there's no shows necessary at all. We just act like who we are, and that's probably one of the reasons why we've stayed close for so many years. You know, everyone has their close knit bunch of crew that they hang out with, and you know, we have ours like most people do, and we're really fortunate for it, and just glad to be here, man, and to keep going and be healthy, you know, somewhat, or, you know, better than probably better than most, and not as good as some, but still love every minute of it.
Just keep staying healthy, Dennis, and take your magnesium daily pills, and eat good foods, and you know, stay healthy. You know,
plenty of Advil,
and plenty. Deb doesn't give you that many headaches, so don't worry about it.
No. She's part of the team, and she always was, even Speedway and even in the boats and all that. All of our families have just been always there, and loved it and supported it. So real fortunate, you know.
Yeah,
not a lot of girls or girlfriends would stay the course as far as that goes, being a full-time racer and Yahoo, you know. So I'm pleased to say that Deb and I are still 2 thumbs up, brother.
Awesome. I saw the pictures of you and Deb, and I know that both of you are in love, and I know that you have a really great special relationship with each other, and I know she's like 110% has your back all the time. And what else could a man ask for?
Yeah, well, what's the saying? For every good man, there's always a good woman behind it.
Yep.
And there's living proof. I've got one. You know, I've got one that stands by me, and we stand by each other. So, you know, it's great. It's loving, and got a loving family. So pleased.
That's unbelievable. That's so nice. That really is. And tell Deb thank you for her help, and tell her, like, you know, it's good to see her again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to see her for a few minutes this morning when all of the aggravation.
Well, I guess it's over with. So I guess we shouldn't
it's over.
worry
Yeah,
about
it's over with. And now I know a little bit more on what system you use, and you know, I can kind of do it on my own, because I am not tech savvy. That's for sure. I'm more of a, give me a screwdriver and a pair of pliers and a wrench and I'll fix it. But when it comes to just tapping buttons and scrolling this way or scrolling that way, I don't have the patience for it. It just aggravates me.
Well, what we should do, Dennis, they have a new long track that's opening up next week at Bakersfield. It's a speedway track, and we got to get your butt out there on a speedway bike and see if you can teach the boys a couple things.
Yeah. I don't know about teaching anyone anything anymore. I haven't been on a bike in 22, 23 years on a speedway bike anyways. But maybe one day, I'll get out there and rip around. Maybe I'll get bother a Boogaloo or Grin or something, like, hey, let me take one of your bikes out, or let me go ride with your boy or something, you know, and spin a few laps just to kind of, remember a little bit. That would always be fun, for sure.
Yeah, just playing around, like having a good time, just enjoying yourself. That's fun.
Yep, that's what it's all about nowadays. I don't have time for hospitals, so just have fun with it.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. But it's hard to picture you like not riding the bike very good, because of course you need a few laps to get the cobwebs out. I mean, who doesn't? But it's hard to believe that, that guys like you and Penhall, you guys couldn't get out there. Of course, you're not going to be the same as you were when you're 20s. I mean, who is? Nobody is. But, it's hard to believe that, you couldn't go out, and both of you guys could go out and ride relatively decent laps, like ride a little bit. Okay, good.
Well, yeah, I would certainly hope so. I guess it's like riding a bicycle. You never forget how to do it, but it's just getting the getting the gumption to break the back tire loose and get her sideways. That's always the number one thing with Speedway, is because it's totally different than any other sport. You have to keep that back tire broke loose. Otherwise, you're going to go straight. So, yeah, that'd be, maybe a slick track would help, and not a real tight one, where you can run out of the turns a little bit and maybe not scrape into the fence or something.
Yeah. Well, Bakersfield, the new track, it's a little bit long, which I know you like long tracks. It's wide, and you're not going to really run tight into the wall, or you're not going to really be hugging the pole. You can ride it kind of middle track and kind of like open it up. Actually, Sam Ermolenko was out there last week or two, and he was riding with a white leathers. It's kind of strange to see Sam Ermolenko out there, but he was riding pretty decent, considering he probably hadn't ridden in years, like yourself. And, it was fun to see these old timers, these champions get on a speedway bike. Of course, you're not as good as you were, in your 20s or something, but it's still a lot of fun to watch, the legends ride. I mean, who wouldn't enjoy that?
Yeah, for sure. And I wish them all the best up there at Bakersfield. It's about time that we got another track, and hopefully this year we'll be on to back to somewhat normality and get all the tracks running again, and get the riders to get some more seat time and practice, and get some talent, and they'll grow up, and then they'll go to Europe and become world champions, and we'll be able to say, hey, I knew that guy before. That's what we all hope and wish for.
Yeah, we're really pulling for the American boys to step up their game and do it. They can do it. It's just, if they mentally want to do it, if they want to pay the price, their exercising, their diet program, their health program, their all around program, their dedication, they can do it if they have that, for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly a commitment. That's for sure. Well, anything, you want to play football, baseball, soccer, underwater basket weaving, whatever it is, you got to be committed, and you got to be willing to take some bumps and bruises and get back up and brush yourself off and move on, and learn from it and carry on, and you do that in any sport, anything that you have passion for. There's always going to be some bumps and bangs going on. Keep hard at it, and keep moving forward.
Well, speedway riders are tough. They're a rare breed of characters, and these guys. I mean, we all feel the pain, and we all have the injuries. But the speedway rider is a special breed of person.
I would tend to agree. But all in all, a racer through and through.
Yeah, that's right. And when I crashed, which was I crashed a few times in my life, probably like everybody, and I always pride myself on, if I can, get up, don't lay on the track, don't showboat, don't let everybody feel sorry for you and lay there like you're dead, and then 5 minutes later, okay, I feel good.
Brush it off and use it as an experience and move on.
Yeah, I mean, be a man, get up, don't play the crowd. If you're hurt, you're dying down there, like you really suffered. I've been that way once or twice, and got knocked out and broke all my ribs, and I was wiped out. So I mean, you're hurt. So I mean, what do you do? But that's speedway. But getting back to the speedway with you, Dennis, you won many championships. You won the Golden Helmet, the Peter Craven Memorial, the British League KO Cup champion. We talked about the British Open, the best pairs with Bobby Boogaloo, and out of those championships and maybe more, what was your favorite championship that you won?
Well, I'm going to say number one is you gotta say the world best pairs. Golden Helmet was another beauty. the only American to even still to this day, to which I can't believe, to be able to win it. It was a hell of a race. Couple times American champion there at Long Beach, for the qualifying rounds for the World Championship. I think I won a couple years back to back there, and I had some good rides, some good scores. I don't know, California State champion at San Bernardino one year, way back when. So I've had a few that are pretty memorable, and I've been runner up a few times, which is disappointing, but still to be in the, be considered into the caliber of racers that I was racing against. I consider myself, I did okay. I did all right. Yeah. I mean, I got some titles, and I got a few trophies here and there. I'm not like Mike Bass that has got every single trophy that he won before. I got a handful of my special ones, and I got some pictures and what have you, but I don't have the room to display them, and I'm not that kind of a guy anyways. I just I know certainly my kids and my wife are tired of hearing about how good I was.
Well, you can't display all your trophies because you have too many of trophies.
Well, yeah, I don't have too many anymore. I kind of given them away, or I don't know what happened to them. But after my lifetime's gone, the kids aren't going to want all that crap to get rid of all that stuff. So, kind of give some stuff away, or some. I kept some of my more memorable stuff, obviously, and. But always making memories. Now I put pictures of the kids, and when we go riding together and different fun things at the Peace Place, and those are awesome memories as well. So you put them all together, and it's an awesome life. Like I said, I got no complaints here, and I've had a good run, and happy. So happy to be part of it, and happy to have been part of it.
That's cool. Well, hopefully, like your family and stuff, when you're gone one day, hopefully they won't be selling your trophies at a garage sale for like 50 cents a piece or something.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, as long as they go into a good place or a good house or whatever, so that someone appreciates it, that's that's the name of the game. But there's no one that's going to appreciate it more than me. Exactly. in my memories. So that's why you keep some of the special ones, and you let some of the other stuff go.
Oh, and I'm sure you have a beautiful collection, and Penhall. You guys probably have amazing collections.
Nothing like Penhall's, man.
Penhall, wow.
I hope to have a garage like his. Every time I go over to his place, it's like, fuck, BP, this place is awesome. He's got his replica his first long track bike he got from PC. He's got a replica of a speedway bike now. He's got the bitchin' ass painted floor, the green toolbox. I mean, the TV. He's got it all dialed in. He doesn't have any kids living at home anymore. I got one kid still living at home, and so I'm still housing a bunch of stuff, hoping when he gets his apartment, some of this stuff will go. And I got 3 motocross bikes. I got a Honda 90 Alley Fine Cruiser that I ride around to the market to my buddy's house, and a moped.
Nice. We lost you, Dennis. Yeah, he's got those motocross bikes. We lost Dennis. There he is.
I'm back. Yeah, my daughter was calling in, and I hit the wrong button.
Oh.
So, but no, it's fine. It's okay. It's a constant battle to keep clean and to keep doing and working, and just helps me keep active. So I don't mind at all.
Oh, that's cool. I have a friend. He was a British League rider recently, not an old timer, but more recently. And we talk all the time. And I told him we're going to be doing the show tonight, and he said, "Could you tell Dennis that?" Dennis and Bruce Penhall inspired him to be a racer, and that he raced in the British League for a few years, and he was a good rider. He's from I think Denmark, and
yeah.
he's one of those Ole Olsen fans, I think.
All right. Yeah. Well, another legend, Ole, for sure. Yeah.
Ole.
Another legend, absolutely.
So Ole was good.
Yep, a lot of Great Danes. A lot of Great Danes out there. I guess that's where they got the name, right?
Yeah. Yes. Well, who was the first big Great Dane? Was it Ole?
Yeah, I would say in my lifetime, anyways, that I recall. Yeah, I mean, the guys that come to mind as far as the Danes is Ole, Hans, Gunnarsson.
Yes.
I had a teammate that rode with me, Preben Eriksson. He never won any world championships or anything like that, but he's a pretty solid rider and teammate of mine at Ipswich. But yeah, those are the guys, and have so much respect for those guys for sure. They had a great career. Eric had a bad get off, and still I guess he's just lucky to still be around, and we're all lucky to still have him around. So, pleased about that, and do get to talk to him periodically. I know Bruce was doing an interview with one of the other guys, and I stopped by his office, and happened the timing was just right, so I got to talk to Eric for a minute or two. So it was pretty cool to see him again, because we had some good times together.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of Eric's races, and that guy was he was legendary. I mean, he was that good. He was like an Ivan Major legendary. I mean, Eric Gunnarsson was crazy good.
Yep.
And that guy was like unbelievable.
Yeah, we were kind of the up and coming at the same time, and always friendly. I mean, always friendly. But when you get out and put the race face on, you're out there for a race, and friendly goes away kind of thing. But before and after the meetings, yeah, we were good friends. We were good friends. So always happy to see him.
Well, I've been texting Eric Gunnarsson like a few times. I think he's mad at me, and I say, Eric, I want you on the show alone. I don't want Penhall. I don't want Sigalos. I want Eric Gunnarsson alone on the show, and we can talk.
Oh,
but
sure.
He ignores me.
I'm sure he does plenty of stuff with all this kind of stuff going on nowadays, plus with his life and what he does for the Danish Speedway. And, I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, we love Eric Gunnarsson no matter what. And,
for sure.
He's awesome guy, and just
absolutely.
Incredible.
For sure.
Incredible guy. And we really respect him. I just love watching him race. He was always first place in the first turn. Eric Gunnarsson beat everybody.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He was good. That guy was. And so also, I was talking to Bruce, I believe it was, on my last interview. And then he said when you guys raced the boats together, that you were the driver of the boat, and then Bruce was the throttle man. Is that true?
That was you're just opposite.
Oh, was it the opposite?
Yeah. Bruce had the steering wheel, and I had the throttles and trim and all the gauges that I didn't know what the hell to do with.
Oh, okay. So Bruce was the driver, and you were the engineer then, right?
They call it throttleman. Yes.
Oh, the throttle man. So you just do the throttle and stuff? Is that what your main thing is, like the speed?
Yeah, throttles, and then you got the trim tabs, and then you got the trim on the drive. So you're constantly altering the positions of the drives and the trim tabs as you're throttling. So it's pretty busy work, and then you got all the gauges, the temperatures and the water pressures and the oil pressures that you kind of keep an eye on. So there's a lot going on in both aspects of it, for sure.
So
there
Bruce
again,
was just the steering wheel. Bruce was just driving.
Bruce had the steering wheel and was paying attention to where we were going.
Yeah, very important. Very important.
Yeah,
because one mistake and you're dead. So that's important.
Yeah, it's important to pay attention and to kind of know what your other guy is doing. So there's two of us in the boat, obviously. So you gotta kind of be in harmony with one another.
No, absolutely. And well, that's a good combination, really, having maybe having a little knowledge of the boats and stuff. And then Bruce being the driver, because we know Bruce Penhall was a fairly decent driver in his day. So he could know where to go. I think, his eyes are pretty good.
No, for sure. I wanted to be in control of the speed. So if I got scared, I could slow down.
Very good. And you guys won how many did you win world championships without Bruce, and then you won world championships with Bruce, or did you win them together?
No, we won them together. We were our first I think we won 4 out of 5 world championships in our career. Starting off with the first year that we raced, we won the world championship.
Nice.
So, and then, him and I raced from 94 all the way to the end of 99 was our last year. And then we won, like I said, I think we won 4 out of 5. And then after we retired, and this was with 2 different boats, and picked up in speed every time. At the last boat, we were right just under 150 miles an hour top speed. So it really hauled ass. Wow. And then after we retired, I got the offer to run with another company, another guy that was in the offshore powerboats, Ederay Squeegees, which was owner of a squeegee company. And so they contracted me to throttle their boat for a couple of years. And I was lucky enough to win one more world championship with them. So that was it was good. It was spectacular and kind of different than motorcycles for sure, especially with 2 guys, operating the one boat. You really got to know what each other's doing and, believe and trust in what each other's doing to make the team work. But what a bitchin' time. And there again, all of our families were included and went to every single race pretty much. And my dad included. He was always right there and had his input and got on multiple TV shows and what have you. And because of the boat racing and rookie of the years, both of us, and world speed record holders and, 5-6-time world championships. So, not many people can say that they got multiple world championships in 2 different motorsports. So something else that we're grateful for.
I think nobody hardly can say that one. And what's it like going 150 miles an hour or on the water? I mean, that's a little fast, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. With our boat, we were fully enclosed with a cockpit like a fighter jet pilot kind of thing. So you really didn't have the sensation of speed until you got out of shape or something. You got then you realized, oh shit, we are going fast, man. But it never can't scare you. If you're going to get scared, you might as well just hang it up right then and there, because you ain't going to end up hurting yourself or someone else. You gotta have all the confidence in the world to know what you think you know what you're doing. And we did pretty well. I mean, a lot of people didn't have the confidence in us and think, those guys ain't gonna do worth a darn. And we showed them otherwise. We showed them that we'd go out there and kick their butt just like anyone else could.
Oh, wow. You probably made believers out of a few people, but
yeah. It was good stuff, though. Good stuff. And,
that's cool. I mean, to do that is amazing.
Retiring from Speedway for 10 years and then getting back into racing was really cool. It was like a breath of fresh air to get back in some kind of competition again.
Nice.
So, and then plus with all the families being able to go and doing all these different venues, in Texas and Florida and New York and Boston and Maryland, up north, San Francisco, Dana Point, here local. So, getting to travel around the United States, and seeing the world and racing and, enjoying the good times.
That's good. So you had somebody drive your boats all over, and then you flew to these places like that?
In most cases, sometimes I drove with our contracted driver, because we had like a big semi, 18-wheeler kind of thing.
Wow.
Big freight liner that used to haul the boat around. It didn't go inside, it stayed outside, but our overall length was about 85 feet long with the rig and the boat. So, you got to know what you're doing as far as driving across country in this big freight liner, big red thing, and Sigalos Penhall Racing, offshore racing on it. And, but yeah, sometimes I had to go with the guy we had to get there quick. So we would do nonstop from here to like New York, or from here to Florida in a couple days. Just,
wow.
Just never stopped. I'd drive at night, and the driver would drive during the day.
Crazy. It sounded like you had a pretty good run at the boat racing. So congratulations.
Yeah, we did well. We couldn't have asked for much more. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get when you get two highly talented racers together, and you get some results. Like that.
And a little bit of luck as well, too,
And luck, you didn't die out there.
We had some good equipment.
Yeah.
Good teachers behind us that taught us what not to do as far as that goes. We knew what to do. We need to get out there and win, but we wanted to figure out what not to do as far as to be as safe as possible.
Exactly. So your dad financed the boat initially or something?
Initially he did. And he was happy to do it and happy to be part of it, and rode with us on our first race. And after the first race, he says, I'm no more. I'm not riding with you guys. You're freaking nuts. I do not do this. So here, have at it. So we were able to round up some sponsorship, but my dad was still really heavily involved in doing it and wanting to do it, and continue, having all of us enjoy it, not just Bruce and I and him, or just Bruce and I. It was it benefited all of our families, which was huge.
Nice. Well, your dad is a speed demon himself, because he was racing Penhall's dad back in the day. So for your dad to say, like, I'm out of here, that's saying a lot, because your dad's a racer. So,
Yep. Well, he was good in his day, and he retired from that, obviously, for his family, us. And so he was pretty jazzed to get back into it with us, and to be part of the whole process throughout the 5 or 6 years. I think the 6 years that we were doing it, he was always right there, and willing and able and wanted. So, it was really, really cool to be part of.
That is really cool. So how's your dad doing today? He's got to be getting a little older now, and
is he doing okay? Yeah, he's doing great. He'll be 89
wow,
in a couple months, and he stayed hunkered down for over a year, like all of us had with the COVID and all that. But him and his wife are healthy and staying clear of it, and he's getting a little older, a little wiser, and moving a little bit slower, but he's still all there, and I still talk to him pretty much every day.
Nice. Well, give him my regards, to him, because, I always admired, what he's done, and he was a genius businessman and just really successful, great guy. So congratulations on that.
For sure. Yeah, I'm proud of him. That's for sure. Absolutely.
Oh.
All of us are.
I remember his business he built, and I used to always go to work, and I'd see your trucks everywhere, and I was like, oh, remember the white? I don't know what color, orange or white or whatever.
Yeah, they were white with orange writing, Orange County Food Service.
Yeah. They're everywhere. How many trucks did you guys have? It was like hundreds, I think.
We had a couple hundred trucks.
Oh.
Yeah, running all over Orange County, pretty much Orange County, LA County. running around, for, I think it was 50 years that business was going for.
Well, your dad is a good businessman to run that kind of company. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and he ran it, and he was hands-on. He was there every single day, rain or shine, sick or not sick, whatever. That was his passion, and we're grateful it provided for all of us, and to be able to do some of the fun things that we've done through life. Most definitely.
What a great provider your dad was.
Super proud of him.
I would be proud too if that was my dad, for sure. So, tell him congratulations for doing a great job.
Yeah, right on. I will do.
Really, because I never met your dad, but I know like a little bit about what he's done, and I always was impressed as a businessman, and I always admire your dad.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, good stuff.
Very good. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to add, Dennis? We talked a lot, but is there anything else I missed?
I think I'm good. And I do appreciate the interview and the good time again. You do a great job with your show, and congratulations on it and what have you. And I'm sure we'll do another one in the future down the road or what have you. But always a pleasure to talk to you, man.
Oh, you know what, Dennis, you're one of my favorite guys ever, and I would love to have you back in the future, and we can talk. We have more topics to talk about, and but yeah, I really enjoy I have people texting me saying, Dennis, your interviews with Dennis are some of the very best, and I said, yeah, you're right. I swear people say that, and
we're real people.
Yeah. That's what I like about you. You're not a phony. You if you're not happy, you say, "Hey, dude, I'm not happy," and you're just real. You're not like a fake, or you're not overacting, or you're not like that. You just kind of do it the way it is. You're a real person.
Right. There you go.
And that's cool. Bro, that's commendable. And if we had everybody in the world like you, that would be a really great world.
Right. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And great show today. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you visiting us here in the Hive. And that was Dennis Arthur Sigalos. He's just a great guy. Congratulations. You did a great job too, Dennis. I mean, Dennis is awesome. 2 thumbs up there for Dennis Sigalos. He's a good guy, and he's just a cool dude. I mean, how can you not like Dennis? He's a good guy, and we really enjoyed having Dennis in the Hive today, and we hope to have Dennis back again, because I know we can have some more talk with Dennis Sigalos, because he's a very interesting guy, and he has a really interesting life, and we really appreciate him. He's just a good guy. He's hung with us when we had some technical difficulties, and I was afraid Dennis was going to go away. And I said, Dennis, we can do this. And he's like, I'm with you, brother. So thank you, bro. And you're just awesome, man. Tip my hat to you too. And Dennis, have a good one. And we're going to see you soon in the Hive. And we have Bruce Penhall coming up too. So we're going to talk with Bruce. We got some good videos with Bruce. We're going to have a good time. That's Dennis's buddy, Bruce the Fox Penhall. and Dennis really likes Bruce. They're good buddies. And next week, we have the young guns in the Hive. And no old guys. It's going to be all young. So we're looking forward to next week. And we have Sarah Cords on Tuesday night and Blake Barillo on Wednesday night. And we got a few other riders lining up right now. So we're going to have a good time. So thank you so much for joining us and the Hive. We really appreciate Dennis Sigalos' time. He's just a good guy. So thank you, Dennis, for your time and for the show. It was really fantastic. And thank you for watching, because we wouldn't be doing the show without you. And you are the stars of the show, not us. And thank you for hanging out with us in the Hive and having a really good time, because I had a great time with Dennis Sigalos. He's just a great guy. So
thanks so much. And we appreciate that. And ride safe, stay on two wheels. And thank you for watching the show. Subscribe if you like the show. And always stay on two wheels. And we'll see you next race. Take care. Have a great one.